Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Monday, April 28th, 2025. I, of course, am with Hammer Solutions here with your daily mortgage rate update. The only place that you can jump on the web and join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube and on Facebook. If you're here live, say good morning. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and give me hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know that you were here. Let Facebook and YouTube know that you were here. Don't forget to smash that like button, tag an hello friend, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also, I'm going to. I've been watching the last couple of these, and I feel like it takes me a little too long to get going. So I'm going to start jumping in much faster on these, kind of getting into the good stuff, shorten them up a little bit. So if you want to make sure you don't miss anything, make sure you go ahead and sign up for the text reminders, hmmr.io/reminder, or use this cool QR code. If you're on your phone, take a screenshot, go back to your photos. The QR code will work. Make sure you're signed up so you get notified when I'm going live each morning. If you're here this morning, all of my friends, good morning. Let me know in the comments. Do y'all like it when I say your names? I spend a lot of time with that. I'm going to actually skip that this morning. We're going to go through, but good morning, all of you. So glad that you join me each and every day. And I do read your names. I see you. I know you're here. Good morning, Ron Siegel. He says today is National Blueberry Pie Day. Also National Superhero Day, and he gave me the question of the day. Look at that. He's just feeding it to us. The question of the day, what is your favorite superhero? So I will throw that up in the bottom. Let me know, y'all. Again, I am speeding these up. Would you rather I sped them up or I sat and said hello to everybody? And curious, we're gonna test it for a week this week. We're gonna speed it up this week. So I have to get back to the question of the day. What is your favorite superhero? What is your favorite superhero? Growing up, mine, of course, as so many kids was Superman. And then as I got older, kind of, like the Batman thing. And then after Robert Downey Jr., you had to love Iron Man. So I don't know if I have a favorite these days, but let me know in the comments, what is your favorite superhero? And while you guys are doing that, we're going to jump right in this morning, talk about what we got going on. Let me go ahead and, isn't that a weird, why is it missing along the top? Can I make it bigger? That's a weird kind of thing. So anyway, today's National Superhero Day, so we will go ahead and ask you what is your favorite. So here you go. Mortgage-backed securities are currently down 12 basis points on the day. Where does that leave us? Well, let's recap what happened Friday, and it'll make more sense. So looking at Friday, you can see down here on the lower part of this chart. Let me zoom in so it's a little bit clearer for you. Got to refresh this. Bear with me a minute. All right, there we go. So taking a look here, quick recap on what happened on Friday. Pricing came out around 10 a.m. Mortgage bonds were around 99.30. Okay. We saw a lot of improvement through the day on Friday, and very few reprices better, only a small handful of reprices better. Let me know in the comments if you got a reprice better. I'm curious, but there were really just very few, which we knew was going to happen because because lenders have been very conservative lately, and we've seen a lot more disparity than usual among all of this. So let me just pull this there. Let me make the bottom pull up here. Okay, great. So, and we're just going to get rid of the background stuff for a minute here. Let me get rid of this. Get rid of that, make this a little smaller so we can see it a little. All right, so taking a look here, like I said, mortgage bonds improved. They're down about 12 basis points, but that still puts us above where we were on Friday. So you're going to see rate sheets today very similar to Friday. Bonds are down in the morning, but it only washes out the gains from Friday rate sheets, so they should be similar. Reprice risk on the day and the week is high. I probably will say it's high all week. Jumpy markets, tariffs are starting to hit. Take a look here. You see that on a bunch of the different articles going on. A lot of talk about what's going on. Trump-China tariffs set to unleash supply jolt on U.S. economy. U.S. shoppers pay for Trump's tariffs on Temu, where some prices double. So when it comes to these, and it's important to note about this stuff. A lot of people that are struggling paycheck to paycheck, they're buying cheap Chinese shit. And they buy it from Temu and Shein or Shine or however you pronounce it, right? And these companies, they're depleting U.S. inventory, and they're not generally putting any extra expenses on the U.S. territory, the U.S. Inventory. But anything coming over from China is going to get huge tariffs. And what makes these tariffs even bigger than some others is there was no tariffs before. They were exempted from any tariffs because it was called the de minimis rule, where they were shipping directly from China, but it was parcels priced under $800. So they didn't have any expenses at all. And they've closed that loophole. And they have a tax of about 120% of a product's value, or a per postal item fee of at least $100 starting on May 2nd. So all of these are starting to hit. They're going to start on Friday of this week. That is May 2nd. So you're seeing all these things that are nailed. Here's an example. A $19 power strip was $27.56 in import charges. So basically, this $20 product became $50 product. All of this starting to hit. You've got iPhones that are looking to make Apple couldn't possibly build all of their iPhones out of another place. That they sell millions of them. However, the US market, they're looking at moving those to be built out of, say, India. But if they do that, it's going to take till the end of 2025, the end of 2026 to do that. So all of these things starting to hit now. We got a lot of things going on. Markets are very, very jumpy because of that. So we've got a few things going on this week. Of course, this is jobs week, so we're going to see jobs data this week. That's going to be a big part of what's going on. And companies are looking to cut expenses. So that means that they're slowing hiring in response to tariffs. So CEOs pause travel, delay construction projects, and slow hiring. So the companies are hiring less. If they're spending less, that means other companies are making less. So they're cutting back. So like those construction projects that are delayed, that means construction companies need less help. It's a while before all that hits, but all of this now starting to roll. Now, this week, we expect more volatility than usual when it comes to rates and pricing, because we're running into a scenario where we're not just going to see economic slowdown, but we're seeing inflation, and that's stagflation. Here's the problem with stagflation. Normally, when we see the economy slow down, that would help mortgage rates to improve. That's what we would count on. If the economy is slowing down, expectations are that we would see the Fed go ahead and start cutting rates, say, in June, as markets predict right here. But what happens with inflation? How is the Fed, despite being chastised by Trump, how is the Fed going to go ahead and start cutting Fed funds rates or doing anything like quantitative easing to spur the economy, when at the same time they have a dual mandate and they're trying to fight inflation? Right? Inflation is going to jump when you have products that are doubling and 150%ing, increasing in price. You can't just turn around and stimulate the economy. So there's a lot of complexity here. My joke on the written lock advice this morning was, mortgage rate forecasters faring as well as NFL mock draft forecasters forecast, pegging out where Shedeur Sanders there was going to go in the first round. So nobody knows what's going on. It is a lot of chaos. Everybody is jumpy. They're very concerned about all of this. And that's what we've got. Ron says, let me go to the chat here. Ron says, what's coming over from China right now? 300,000 container orders canceled. Orders being canceled in China now. Yeah, so I mean, we're seeing, we're getting into the thick of it. Brandy, you're funny. Reprice is better. I don't know her exactly. So we're not seeing a lot of that. So by the way, let me know in the comments. Right now we're 10 minutes in. I'm looking to shorten these up a little bit for me and for you. I started watching a few of them. I don't know how some of y'all loyal viewers watch me for that long. I can't watch me for that long. And I feel like I move very quickly, and I'm watching me and I'm like, you're not moving quickly enough. Come on, man. You got to talk faster. We got to move faster. We got to do faster. So I think I'm going to cut these down. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you'd rather I went back to the old format, I'm going to do this for this week so we can have a true kind of a trial run. But I'm going to speed these up and wrap them up. So anyway, as it comes down to all this, my advice, as it has been, is to go ahead and just cautiously float. Actually, no, that's not what I want to do there. So Let me edit this. Kind of hard. So Millie, you can wait. I'm talking. It's funny. She's just sitting out. That's a shot. I can't help it. Here, watch this. You guys get to. I'm gonna do this for a minute. Where is my little camera thing? Let me turn off center stage and portrait here. Here, Ms. Millie always comes up while I'm in the middle of the show and starts meowing at the door. Now she's being a little more patient and waiting her turn to come in. Oh, look at that. So, for those of you that don't love cats, I don't get it. I love cats. I used to think I didn't like cats. I love cats. They're awesome. So, anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But as far as lock advice goes, we've got to cautiously float. Let's at least wait and start the day. Let's see if mortgage-backed securities improve. We're down 9 basis points. We want to see some signs of improvement. Keep an eye on that 10-year Treasury yield. 4.27 is not bad. We were at 4.24 on Friday, just as a reference point. If we see this get up into the 4.30s, we've got to figure it out. We do have a good shot of seeing a positive reaction, good for mortgage rates, if we show some weakness in the labor market. But at the end of the day, we don't know what we're going to see as far as a reaction. We know what we should see. We know what we would normally see, but there's nothing normal about what we're seeing right now. Markets may shrug off a weak jobs report. It may not get the attention it deserves. Next week, we've got the Fed meeting. But what if the Fed, what if more of this talk and the tariffs and all these things start to hit and they're getting hit with a lot of questions? And what if we see a reversal of the expectation of a cut coming in June? If markets really don't think that this is going to happen, that's not going to be good for mortgage rates if that starts to dry up. So we've got a lot of those things going on, and that's where we're at. So again, thank you for your comments. Keep making comments on there. I will check them out later about whether we're going to, how we're going to roll things out. So I appreciate all of you. I hope you all have a fantastic Monday. As far as movement again today, just be ready, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.